How to read and understand frame data. So at first you see a bunch of numbers floating around everywhere and it could be very misleading and confusing. Let's go ahead and talk about it to help you understand it in a pretty simple way. You already know what time it is. Hey, yo, let's get it. They actually put the information in Street Fighter 6 for you. It wasn't in Street Fighter 5. We had to get it out the mud. But Mother Lovers in Street Fighter 6 got it a little bit easier, but I want to help you out some. So when you look at this box, you see a nice little bar going across the screen at the bottom, right? You see all these different colors, and at first it can be pretty confusing on what it is, right? So let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, so a frame, F, is the smallest unit of time used by the game, with a single frame being 1/60th of a second. The frame meter shows how much time character actions take to perform, with each notch on the meter representing a single frame, 1F. The startup, which is the first color, it's like it looked like it's maybe like a teal green or like a light bluish, or you get the point, right? It's the Mother Lover color that's right underneath where it says startup. The definition of startup is the time between the start of a move and when it can connect. So pretty much, as we all know, the jabs are the fastest option in the game, being the quickest and most likely not the farthest reaching, but some characters have better jabs than others. So normally, you dig, as a jab, Street Fighter 6, fastest frame, 4 frames. Everybody can't have no 1 frame jab like me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get there, boy. That's that 1 frame jab right there, boy. That's that unseeable. I messed that up just now, but whatever. Bloopers. We can roll with it. Next is the total. Sounds exactly what it is, right? The time between the start of a move and when it ends. The advantage. So this is where it gets very important. This is like the main thing that you need to know when it comes down to understanding frame data. The difference in time between when you and your opponent can act after landing a move. If this number is positive, it means you can act before your opponent can. So this will determine how you can apply pressure. So for those who don't know, not all characters in Street Fighter 6 have a normal that's actually plus on block. Some do. DJ, Jury, and a few more. I think Luke also, right? So if you press standing medium first and it's like +2, your next option will come out 2 frames faster before your opponent. So if they decide to press a button, you would actually land the counter hit. While it's not necessary to memorize any of these values to enjoy the game, knowing which moves have faster startup or allow you to act before your opponent after they block will undoubtedly prove adventurous. I hate that word. In combat. So with what we read is like the key components to understand the frame data. So these other colors, this is like for those who get very deep into it. Pause. The counter state, the punish counter state, the non-counter action recovery, hitbox appearance period. Like this is for the Mother Lovers that love frame data and want to break it down to science. Projectile, like all that, no. All right, no, negative. I'm gonna keep it basic with you, so let's go ahead and dive in. Understanding frames and what it is, right? So normally in this game, jabs are -1 on block. So in reality, if I do a jab by itself, the opponent has a right to jab back, which is true. But in the course of Street Fighter 6, jabs in this game actually chain together, meaning I could put 3, and if they decide to press, they will actually get hit. So if I do something like boom into that, if I do standing light into crouching light, Ryu would actually interrupt me because standing light does not chain into crouching light. That is actually me attempting to do a frame trap that is not true. My standing jab, a 4 frame startup, and with it being -1, my crouching light is 5 frames, meaning it's coming out 1 frame slower. Ryu in this situation has the advantage. So anytime I go to do this, I will get counter hit because it's not true. If I decide to chain all 3 of my jabs together, Ryu would actually get counter hit because he's interrupting something that he cannot do, even though it's -1. So back to what I was saying on normals for certain characters being plus. Most characters don't have that benefit. Ed in this case, his standing medium is -1, crouching medium punch is -6, standing medium kick is -5, crouching medium kick is -1. So in reality, if the opponent decides to poke with these options with no special cancel follow-ups, you have the right to attack. This is where spacing comes into play, taking note to where your opponent at, because sometimes even though this button may be safe on block, and in terms of frames, this is your chance to attack back. If I'm hitting it from max space range, pause again. If your opponent decides to press a button because they know it's safe, you can actually set them up for a space trap, right? A space trap. So in reality, you're not wrong for wanting to press right here because you have the right to do so. But this is also a mind game because of where I'm at. So up close, if I decide to press it, your button will come out before I even do a jab because it's -5 on block. Even if you decide to do your jab, you're gonna catch a clean punish counter. This is an actual punish. Let's go ahead and talk about how Dry Rush actually amplifies these buttons in order to apply more pressure. So normally, standard jab is -1 on block. If you go to Dry Rush, it adds +4, so it becomes +3. So in this situation, this is where understanding frame data a little bit more helps you put together frame traps. So my standard jab is now +3. The fastest option in this game is a 4 frame. So your question right now is, what option can I hit after jab in order to cleanly counter hit my opponent if they try and hit their fastest jab? This is where understanding your character comes into play at. If I'm +3, which option can I hit in order to contest that 4 frame? Standard medium, for example, it's a 7 frame startup, right? So if I decide to press this after jab, it's gonna come out 3 frames faster. It's gonna meet on the 4th frame with Ryu's standard jab, meaning it's gonna force a trade. It's gonna force a trade in this situation that actually is still in your favor. You're gonna be +10 now. Look at the range that you're at. This is still pretty close. So now that you're +10, at this range, I can do a 10 frame startup move at best. So Ed, I have a 10 frame standing fierce, and I have a 10 frame standing medium kick, meaning both of these are able to combo. Bada bing, bada boom. I can even follow up with standing fierce right here. Pretty simple, right? Understanding frame data. It's pretty easy, right? Yeah, I know, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Nightmare go get you right. You dig what I'm saying? Uncle Nightmare go get you right in these Street Fighter streets. You dig what I'm saying? Hold on. You dig? So that's when you want to force a trade. Now, if you want to do a faster normal and just beat the press more clean without forcing a counter hit, you can also do that. So once again, standing jab is +3 on block. In this situation, I can actually hit a 6 frame button, which is going to be 1 frame faster than standing medium kick, and beat it clean. This is beating the 4 frame clean because I'm taking that +3 off a standing jab and I'm doing a 6 frame startup. It's coming out on the 3rd frame, which is going to beat the 4 frame. It leaves you +1, so in this situation, you can't get a clean combo, but you could take advantage of that +1 and also stop your opponent from hitting another button if they decide to mash in this situation also. So I'm gonna go ahead and do reversal after damage and set standing light punch again. So after he gets hit, he's gonna press jab again. Now remember, I'm +1 in this situation, so I can hit another jab and beat him again for thinking that he could press another button. Bada bing, bada boom. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever in a situation where you're playing a match and you feel like, man, my opponent is constantly getting away with buttons, why is he constantly doing this? Because you're not putting together attacks that's, you know, taking advantage of the frame that you have on hit and making him pay for wanting to press a button. So of course this takes time. It doesn't come overnight, you know, because this is where understanding each character comes into play at. Every character has different frame, different numbers on their frame data. So it's a little bit of homework, a little bit of practice, but we're not done yet. So that's just diving into offense a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk about how we could use frames on the defense. So I'm going to do something that's real basic. Let's say Ryu decides to have me in the corner, low 4 or 5 ball. Something real simple just to get the point across in the video. So in this situation, I'm gonna be +9. This situation left me +9 because he basically did something that was completely unsafe. So now since I know it's +9, I need to figure out how can I optimize this punish to get the most out of my combo. So it looks like Ryu is going to be able to get punished by Ed's crouching medium kick because it's a 9-frame startup, and I'm going to get the most out of that punish with that button. Look at that, 30-84, because this player decided to do something that put him in a very punishable situation. So understanding frame data on the defense will allow you to get the most out of any situation that your opponent do and making them pay for it. So if they do like a random sweep, let's just say they do into that, right? In the back of your mind, you probably saying, dang, when am I going to be able to attack? In this situation, you may actually attack with the wrong button because in your mind, you're just trying to get your pressure started. You're trying to get your back off the wall and you trying to push the favor back in your ties. But understanding frame data is going to allow you to turn the ties easier than you think. So let's go ahead and take a look at this string. Donkey kick is -8 in this situation. So once again, the player decided to do something that was very disrespectful. Well, I wouldn't say disrespectful, but pretty punishable, right? So since it's -8, I see that Ed has a 8-frame startup on his crouching medium punch. So because I'm playing so patient and playing defensive, I waited for my turn to attack. You about to catch these hands, you dig? Smile for the camera while you up there playing, boy. So, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this video was found helpful on how to understand frame data at the simplest way of explaining it, right? Because, of course, going into the latest stuff like punish counter, all that's not needed. The main thing is startup, total, and the advantage or disadvantage of what it is on block. So if you ever do an option and it shows you that it's blue, you have the right to press a button in this situation. If it shows that you're red, okay, so if it shows anything that's above -4, you are able to be punished. If it's -3, -2, and -1, you're safe. Nothing can punish that. You can do that at free will. So standing medium is -1, cannot be punished. Standing fierce, you can't punish that. If I go to do -5, -6, or -12, you are able to get punished big time. And of course, some normals are special cancelable. So even if it's -5, -6, if your character has that button that's like that and they're able to special cancel it, you can actually end it in a special, push them further back a little bit more, which will actually increase your chance of not being punished. So spacing, well, understanding frame data allows you to understand what's safe, what's punishable, what's special cancelable, and where you could generally place yourself at in order to keep yourself safe at all times. This is why frame data is strongly recommended for any player that's trying to take it serious. So hopefully, once again, the video was found helpful. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you guys in the next one.